Hello and welcome. You might be wondering why I'm on this screen. I don't know if the last episode was any salvageable or not. I'm currently seeing if it will even upload. Basically, I got to a part where I was going back. I was fast traveling. Then my computer restarted on its own. So, I'll give a quick recap of what happened. Just in case the last episode wasn't salvageable at all. We go to the Free City. We find Mid, Byron, and Gav. We meet up. Joshua is introduced to Mid and Byron. Byron and him have a tearful reunion. Well, Byron's the one who's in tears, not Joshua. And then we split up in two groups to try to find survivors. And we get all the way to the place just before the palace, where we fight Spaltnir, Odin's horseman. His guy, which we find out that he's not even originally from the Ash. We don't know where he's from, because we got that from his defeat. But yeah, he used Gulmnir. And then after we beat him, we start to leave, which Odin, the guy who's Odin, basically comes out and slices the building, fights Clive, and then disconnects all his sinew with a single strike. And while Joshua grabs Clive and runs, Jill distracts him, and then there's a time skip, sometime later skip, which they go to Clive into a room where he's recuperating. And then he wakes up, and we find out that the ship isn't ready, so we're going back to the hideout. Let's see what we have. Okay, so it's saved here. This is where it crashed. Well, not crashed, where it restarted, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, depending if I was able to save the video, depends what will happen. Because depending on what happens with the upload, with the video, I might just end up stopping this series. A Song of Hope.
Right. Gav said that Otto might know something.
Let's talk to Hippocampus.
Let me help. I know my letters. Most
Good morrow to you, my friend.
don't believe you've read this particular chapter before. You wish to study the tomes? You are always welcome, Clive.
Because that restart kind of took it out of me. I swear Final Fantasy is just cursed.
If it's knowledge you seek, we've tomes aplenty to guide you in your search.
Aye, it's a dangerous world out there. That grey lump.
Why, he's gentlest, most dutiful soul I've ever had the pleasure to meet. He might not be the brightest crystal in the crate, but he's got a good heart, and I'd far rather have an honest fool working for me than a clever scoundrel. He never shirks his duties, never answers back, never dips his fingers in the coffers.
No.
I won't hear a bad word said about him, though I might say a few myself. The lad's even got Blackthorn teaching him the secrets of smithing now, so I'm keeping my one good eye on the forge. If that blowhard of a blacksmith ever thinks about doing Gotez down, we'll be having words.
If you're gonna buy something, be quick about it.
Ruined blade. Oh, that was just one forever. Okay.
Finished, are you?
Oh, we could speak to Gotez more.
Oh, what is it? There's no one like our Nan.
She can be a bit grumpy, but deep down she's got a heart of gold. My mom and dad worked me like a dog and still called me a witless, worthless waste of space. Said it so much I started believing them. But then Nan got wind of how they were treating me, and she didn't like it one bit. Pulled out a big fat purse full of gold and threw it at their feet.
Your lad's worth double that.
She said, and if you lot can't see it, you can hand him over to someone who can. Oh, that shining glittering gill, and Nan said I was worth more. I never been so happy in my life.
And I've never looked back.
I started working for Nan right and then and there. I'll gladly stay with her till my dying day.
You take care now.
What's that for you, dear?
Hey. Sons of Ouroboros.
Anything else?
My Lord Marquis, I heard about Eastpool. That some of my fellow Guardians are to build a new home there, both for themselves and for Madame Martha's bearers. Is it true?
It's true. The village is to be rebuilt.
I have many fond memories of Eastpool. When I was a child, we would visit my aunt and uncle often. They would lavish attention upon me as if I were the son they never had. I went to see Aunt Hannah after my uncle passed away, but not nearly as often as I should have.
Oscar, I'd like you to assist Sir Wade in the rebuilding efforts.
But my lord, my training is not yet complete. I couldn't possibly.
I warned you I might not be the easiest of masters, but I'm not as hard-hearted as that. Go. Be with your aunt. Rebuild her home. Is what she would have wanted.
Yes, my lord. Thank you, my lord.
Also, my door doesn't need to be guarded. I have a hole in my wall. The emblem of the hanged man, the tavern that sits on the heart. Now, in the depths of an ether flood, it depicts a hooded, bound, and starved man hanged by the ankles, perhaps contemplating how he will take his vengeance on those who made him this way. Now that Quentin strives to build a new future for the remnants of his lost wing family, mayhap the Hangman will rise again, but likely under a different name. In your absence, shall I watch over my new charges, affording them every protection I am able. I only ask that you do the same for his grace. I cannot begin to thank you for all you have done for Lost Wing, so in lieu of any awkward recompensas, I shall be sending several barrels of next season's vintage. I can only hope they finally turn you off that foamy swill you and yours so covet. Yeah, depending on how last video ends up, this might end up being the last video I ever upload for the series. Just because I don't know why. Final Fantasy's just been cursed with me. I've had so many problems with it.
Cole said it was an army of Akashi. What happened?
I might as well, if this doesn't work, have go back to, because here's the thing, I like the Final Fantasy series. I've loved playing all of the other ones I've played so far. 16, I've had good moments, I've had some bad, but it hasn't had enough good moments in it for me not to go through the curse of Final Fantasy. Which, for those who don't know, the curse started with my Final Fantasy XIV series. I would get blue screens. I would get sick. I would have so many different things go wrong. In fact, that is the series that made me start doing my videos for an hour. But yeah. So that's basically how the curse started with Final Fantasy, and I've had at least one problem per series when it comes to Final Fantasy. I could play a lot of other games and not have a single problem, but I have always been flooded with problems when it comes to Final Fantasy. And for something like 14, I'll trudge through ahead because I really do like 14. 14 is my favorite out of all the Final Fantasies I've played. Huh? What's that? What's that one? That don't look like... Huh? Wish there was a first person mode so I could take a better look at that map. Because that's nowhere on this map. But anyway. I know it's one bad thing, but when it comes to something like this game, where if I go to load, I only can go so far. Like, A Song of Hope is where we just entered here. And this was the autosave that I got before the game crashed. Oh, there's more autosaves. Maybe I can go and redo it then. Maybe I can salvage it. I don't feel like doing it though. Like I said, it kind of took the wind out of me. Because the thing is with the Final Fantasy series, it's not about... This is my first time experiencing these games. And I feel like if I go back and do something, it just like, it's not as much as it was the first time I got to it. The reason why I did that with 14 was because, of all the things I would notice that I didn't notice the first time I went through. Yeah. And there's also some things that I got to see in that one that I didn't get to see in my first time going through because of how I played the game at the time. I stuck with one class all the way through. Well, two, technically, because I was Summoner and Scholar. So I didn't get to experience all the things that would happen if you leveled up multiple classes. Not until I did, started doing that with the other things.
What will it be today? What is it that you wish to learn?
Okay, what was your thoughts? Unavailable, deceased. She saved us. His claws are sharper than mine. He wasn't very strong. He's taking me for a walk again. Look who's back and bigger.
Thus ends today's lesson.
Oh, I wasn't expecting you back, so. All yours.
Talisman of Priming. Enclosed you will find an item of high and strange order, one for which I require neither thanks nor recompense. Consider it a reminder of whose loyalties are best placed. The Chapman.
Best of luck out there, Sid.
His eyes glowing, his blade an extension of his very arm. He knew no fatigue. The man was gone, and in his place the Econ visited upon us death 1,000-fold. Increase Lionheart tonic duration by 30 per seconds. Not what I was expecting. I thought it was going to make our limit break last longer. Let's go check on the prince.
Who thinks my boils if Tyre ain't around, eh?
Huh. Talia's not here. Let's speak with our little Moogle friend. The man in black and the Dread Comet. The Hunter of Tubor speaks of a wild chocobo that hunts not only the nearby Badlands, but also their dreams. For it exhibits a ferocity rarely seen in the species, and has ripped more than a dozen of their comrades from gizzard to groin, and feasted on their flesh. The bird is far past taming, and must need be put down. The greater part of those Black Shields who spied on Lostwing were taken by the Ether Flood. However, we have received reports that one yet survives, a zealot of their evil cause, who persists in delivering any bearer who strays too close to his hiding place to a gruesome death. Alas, he has heretofore proved more than a match for the Cursebreakers sent to slay him. Okay, I'm going to talk to Otto. Depending on what happens next, I might just end the episode. And then with this music will be the calling card for the what might be the end of the series. I'll still play this game to get through it, but just because of losing so much stuff and having the other problems I've had with this game, with the crashes and stuff, I might just have to say screw it and just cut my losses. Because I really do want to finish this game. But the game's not making it easy on me.
How are we supposed to...
Clive? But if you're here, where the hell is everyone else? Don't tell me.
They're all right. But it's a long story.
You lot don't do things by halves, do you? Well, at least everyone's still breathing. Now, as for these writings, I'm sorry to say, Clive, but if you had those, you'd be...
Sitting under a pile of rubble, I know.
But we were able to save a few bits and pieces from the ruins, most of which ended up being used to build this place. The more personal items we gave to the next of kin. In the case of Sid's things, that would have been Mid.
Then I'll check the workshop.
Yeah, I'll just do what I can in the hideout, and then I'm just going to call it. I don't know why my computer just randomly restarted.
And the Lazarus are gone.
Do you think Mid's ship will ever sail?
This looks like it's from Sid's old diary. But you'll already have read it. I'd better keep looking. What do we have here? Oh. Sid's pipes. Something tells me Mid won't be needing these.
We've had no word from Canva for days. Please tell me Mid is all right.
Well, it doesn't give me the option to.
I remember seeing this doll in Sid's cellar. I wonder if it was Mid's. What's this tucked inside it?
Mandadrol, I know you like your riddles, so I reckon you'll appreciate this one. Of all my inventions, this one's the best. And so, when choose its place of rest, I recall your opus, daughter dearest, and now it sleeps there in the first. I'm going to have to work on the last rhyme. Good luck.
Sid's best invention. Huh. That sounds promising. So Sid hid something in Mid's first opus. But what would that be? Perhaps Otto might know.
Okay, for some reason, Clive decided to stop walking there for a second.
Well, did you find anything?
Possibly. You wouldn't happen to know what Mid's first opus was?
Opus? That girl's as tone deaf as a banshee. Unless you mean the orchestrion. She couldn't have been more than, what, 11, 12 when she cobbled that thing together? It surprised us all. Not least her dad. You should have seen how proud he was of the little scamp. What's that battered old box have to do with anything?
I think Sid may have hidden something inside it.
Wouldn't surprise me. Those two and their bloody treasure hunts. Half the things in the hideaway were hidden one time or another.
How are we supposed to do our duty when the hills are crawling with a
Cole said it was an army of Akashi. What will happen to me and the others?
I didn't break it. Well, I didn't break it.
What didn't you break?
Nothing. We didn't break nothing. We definitely didn't break the orchestrion.
What's wrong with it?
It's broken. Except when it isn't. See?
And you had nothing to do with this?
Nope, nothing. We just wanted to listen to all the songs at once. So we pressed all the buttons. Like this. See?
All too well. All right, out of the way. Something caught on one of the gears.
Did you break it? Can you fix it?
No, I mean, yeah, yes. There. How about now?
You fixed it! Sid fixed it! He more than fixed it! Yeah, new music!
Huh. Never heard this one before.
They started playing when I removed this. Whatever it is.
Well, don't look at me. I can tell you it's important, though. Sid showed it to me once and said as much. Said it was the stuff dreams were made of. Let's just hope it's the stuff ships are made of as well.
Indeed. Let's see if we can make some dreams come true.
Just the two I was looking for.
Aye, aye. Who's a patient?
Actually, yes. The Crown Prince just left.
Dion left.
Unless you've another word for stood up and walked off. Yes, left. He did have the decency to leave a message with Obelisk before commandeering one of his dinghies. Should we go after him?
No. We're not the Prince's keepers. He's free to do as he sees fit.
I'd rather he did so in bed. His wounds are nowhere near healed. Much like yours, I suspect. Otto told me what happened in Canver. What is it with this realm's princes and their aversion to rest?
Ask me when I get back. Though I may be sometime.
Then at least try to stay safe.
And if that fails, try to stay alive, eh?
Every moment I waste here, the further the flagship sails. I have to get back.
We got more quests. Let's take a look at the Orchestron and then talk to Good Bones. and then we'll talk to Hippocampus,
imps are going
and
to
then
break
I'll call it. Like I said, depending on how the other video goes, this might just be the last one.
Let me help. I know my letters.
Knowledge hoarded is knowledge lost. I have compiled some new entries, if you would like to see them. There is a rather fascinating excerpt I've been meaning to show you.
The Western Alliance. Des Malchus. The Treaty of 859. And Magitech. A term that appears in early histories of the fallen civilization and describes their highly advanced magical technology, of which the airship is the best known example. They also produced weapons all but indistinguishable from living beings, yet whose destructive power rivaled that of the gods of legend. The early chronicles labeled these beasts the Econquilists, and it is the form from this term that the Econs of the present day take their moniker.
You wish to study the tomes? The door to the shelves shall ever be open.
Yeah, I think that'll be it. I'll see you all in the next.